Television today is an accepted part of everyday life. It has been called the opiate of the masses, the visual drug that keeps the population entertained while governments and corporations, do as they will. The notion of the popular opiate first arose in the 19th century in Karl Marx's writings, where for the same reasons he described religion as the opiate of the masses. Television has certainly become something of a religion for many people. Today there is something on television to suit most interests: news, entertainment, reality, sport, religion, and many other interest areas. Television has become integrated with our culture and our lifestyle. So where did television come from? The development of what we know as television today is a case history for the evolution of invention. No one person discovered television in a eureka moment. Rather, the coming together of many inventions towards the end of the 19th century set the environment where many inventors developed various inventions heading towards the holy grail of being able to transmit pictures and sound over air to form what eventually would be called television. In summary, some of those inventions were the development of electricity and accompanying understanding of electromagnetic forces and waves, Alexander Graham Bell's invention of the telephone, being able to communicate by voice over a wire, photography, moving films, early experiments in radio, and the isolation of light-sensitive selenium. With the coming of radio in the first decade of the 20th century, inventors, entrepreneurs, and visionaries were looking for the big pot of gold, being able to transmit images. The first form of television that was successful was by electromechanical scanning. The moving image was isolated through a lens and scanned through converging holes in a spinning wheel. The scanned light falling on light-sensitive selenium varied the electricity current, which could then be transmitted over wire or on radio waves, where a variable illumination of a light bulb reversed the process through a similar scanning wheel and was projected through a lens onto a small screen. The images were jerky and rough, but these pioneer inventors got it working. The early scanning system broke the image into 30 lines. Compared to 600 lines plus of today, the images were very coarse. John Logie Baird demonstrated the first very basic transmission of moving images in London in 1926. The system set up by Baird utilised a scanning camera where the spinning wheel breaks the image coming through the lens into lines, as I said before, reduced to electrical pulses that are then transmitted to the receiver, that is the reverse of the camera, where electrical pulses work a light bulb projecting through a scanning wheel onto a rare projection screen. This system of an image being broken down in component parts, transmitted and being put back together again in the television set is still broadly the same concept that we use today, but of course the components have been hugely sophisticated. Baird's name lives on in Baird Television, and the Australian Oscar Awards of television are called the Logies. Baird is seen by many as the father of television as we know it today. The mechanical system used by Baird was built into an elaborate set of stylish cabinets. The video signal was received quite separately to the audio signal, which was received through a more conventional radio wireless. The receiver, sitting at the very primitive television complex, I guess, in their lounge room, had to first tune in the picture and then tune in the radio to pick up the audio signal. Television had a minimal uptake, not surprisingly, through the 1930s, a period when radio emerged as the first mass broadcast medium. This was for news, music and entertainment. Television was still cumbersome, expensive, and had only elemental programming. Television became more accessible with the invention of the cathode ray tube and running audio as a subcarrier on the video transmission. This meant a television set could be contained in one furniture cabinet and the audio didn't have to be tuned separately through a radio. Television cameras used cathode ray tubes backwards, an electron beam scanning an image coming through a lens.